We are waiting to learn if a judge will allow an Iowa fire captain to keep his job after a sex scandal inside the department. Ottumwa Fire Captain William Keith was fired for failure to lead. He's fighting to get his job back in a civil hearing.
KCCI's Marcus McIntosh learned how the whole scandal unraveled.
The dominoes started falling early in the morning on April 12th. Ottumwa firefighter Amanda Hull was called into work. She says she went to the firehouse to gather her gear, gathering more than she expected.
And I turned around and there was a female laying in the bed.
A woman, she said, appeared to be naked from the waist up. An internal investigation indicates the woman stayed overnight with a firefighter and was left alone at the station when the firefighters left to fight a fire. Hull says the woman was in one of 3 bedrooms at the close quarters firehouse. One of the other 2 bedrooms was occupied by former Captain William Keith. Hull reported it to her superiors, who turned the report over to the city's HR director.
There were so many things that were coming out with the report, with the investigation.
An investigation that kept unraveling.
As I completed interviews and started researching the Facebook comments and the posts that were in some of the groups, it became that this was a common occurrence at the fire station. I would question how others could not hear that or know that that was going on.
The investigation was then turned over to an external company, a Des Moines lawyer who continued to peel back the layers on an investigation that expanded to include former Chief Keith. She pointed to Keith's seeming indifference to what went on under his command.
We don't do room checks. This isn't the military. Said we're not required to do that.
Keith testified on his own behalf, denying indifference, saying he first learned about an overnight guest after they returned from fighting the fire, and he was not happy.
I was very upset.
And why?
Because I had no idea that there had been anybody there. This is the first time I had heard about it.
As a result of the investigation, firefighter Derek Fye was fired and firefighter Dylan McPherson resigned in lieu of termination. We learned yesterday McPherson was previously reprimanded in August of 2022 when the fire chief was told McPherson was sexting a fellow firefighter's wife. A decision from the Ottumwa Civil Service Commission on whether Keith can return to the job is expected around the first of the year. Marcus McIntosh, KCCI 8 News, Iowa's news leader.